Imagine being cornered by a predator facing certain death, and in that desperate moment, detonating a boiling 100-degree acid explosion from inside your own body to completely vaporize the threat. If this sounds like a scene from a sci-fi movie or some hyper-advanced military technology, think again. Because right beneath our feet, hiding behind dried leaves and rocks, lives a creature that completely rewrites the rules of nature. Meet the planet's most dangerous, explosive, and extraordinary microchemist, the Bombardier Beetle. But how does a soft-bodied insect just a few centimeters long blast this living hell from its body without cooking its own internal organs? Why doesn't this explosion destroy the creature from the inside out? And more importantly, how is humanity shaping its own future by copying the technology of this tiny creature? Today, we dive deep into nature's most mind-blowing masterpiece of biological engineering. If you're ready, welcome to the explosive laboratory of the micro-world. At first glance, the Bombardier Beetle looks utterly harmless. It has no massive jaws, no venomous stinger to paralyze its prey, and no heavy armor. In a brutal micro-world teeming with predators, this insect seems like an easy meal. But appearances are deceptive. Tucked away in the rear of this small body lies one of the most complex biological weapons factories in nature. The beetle's abdomen houses two separate storage tanks. In the first tank, two fundamental chemicals are stored: hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone. These are compounds produced by the beetle itself, which are extremely volatile when combined. However, the beetle stores them in a completely harmless liquid state, kept in perfect balance by special secretions. Right next to it, there is a second chamber. This chamber holds special enzymes known as catalase and peroxidase. As basic chemistry dictates, as long as these substances remain in separate rooms, they are entirely harmless. The beetle can carry its chemical arsenal inside its body for years without suffering any damage. However, the moment a threat is detected, hydraulic valves between these two chambers snap open, and a point-of-no-return chain reaction begins. In times of danger, the beetle contracts its abdominal muscles, pumping the liquids from the reservoirs into a specialized biological chamber lined with thick chitin walls, known as the reaction chamber. In less than a fraction of a millisecond, the enzymes make contact with the chemical mixture. And right at that moment, a biological horror unfolds. The enzymes rapidly break down the hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. Meanwhile, the hydroquinone transforms into toxic benzoquinone. This chemical reaction releases an immense amount of heat. The temperature inside the reaction chamber instantly skyrockets to 100 degrees Celsius, the boiling point of water. The liquid inside the chamber expands rapidly, pressure reaches its peak, and a superheated, toxic vapor-liquid mix is created. With an audible pop, the beetle blasts this boiling acid bomb directly onto the attacker. But what's truly fascinating isn't just the violence of the explosion, it's the beetle's aim. The tip of the Bombardier Beetle's abdomen operates just like a flexible 360-degree turret on a military tank. It doesn't just fire blindly forward or backward. It can pinpoint targets with millimeter precision against attacks coming from between its legs, over its head, or beneath its torso. So, how does a creature that detonates 100-degree boiling acid inside itself manage not to cook or blow itself up alive? The answer lies in nature's most sophisticated engineering marvel, the pulsed combustion mechanism. The beetle does not release this fluid in one continuous stream. If it did, the resulting recoil and internal pressure would tear its own organs apart. Instead, it fires in rapid, machine-gun-like micropulses up to 500 times per second. With each micro-explosion, the rising pressure automatically forces the valve of a reaction chamber shut. As the fluid shoots out, the pressure drops, the valve reopens, and fresh liquid floods in. This process repeats hundreds of times in the blink of an eye. This unbelievable speed allows the beetle's internal organs time to cool down, preventing it from becoming a victim of its own weapon. Scientists have spent years conducting experiments to test the limits of this beetle, and one particular observation completely stunned the biological world. A hungry frog spots a Bombardier beetle, flicks out its tongue, and swallows it whole in seconds. Under normal circumstances, the story ends there, right? But for the Bombardier beetle, the battle has just begun. Trapped inside the dark, acidic stomach of the frog, the beetle refuses to give up and activates its ultimate defense. Right in the middle of the frog's stomach, it unleashes a continuous barrage of boiling acid explosions. Unable to endure the intensity and heat of internal gunfire, the frog is forced to surrender and vomits the beetle out alive.
What's incredible is that the beetle walks away from the stomach completely unharmed, casually continuing its journey as if nothing ever happened. Similarly, even when a massive colony of predatory ants surrounds the beetle, they are scattered by the 360-degree agit bombardment. A single Bombardier Beetle can force an entire army of ants into retreat within minutes. This flawless mechanism of the Bombardier Beetle has sparked major debates in science and philosophy for decades. Researchers advocating the concept of irreducible complementarity argued that this system could not have evolved incrementally. Because entire weave, if one chemical were missing, the system would work. Without the enzymes, there would be no explosion. And without the heat armor of the reaction chamber, the beetle would blow itself up. In other words, all parts had to exist simultaneously and perfectly. However, evolutionary biologists examined the beetle's relatives and proved that these compounds and organs actually evolved step by step over millions of years for different defensive purposes, eventually merging into this incredible fusion. Now, let's get to the most exciting part. Humanity is actively trying to copy this tiny insect's technology. Today, aerospace engineers at the University of Leeds and across the globe are studying the microscopic and propulsion system of the Bombardier Beetle. Because the micropulsation mechanism used by the Beetle allows for much more efficient and uniform fuel injection in jet engines, produces microdosing of medication directly into veins in medicine, and the discharge of water as nanoparticles in next generation free extinguishers. The very engineering solutions that humanity spends billions of dollars trying to achieve in massive laboratories have been perfected by nature inside this tiny insect for millions of years. The world is a far more complex, dangerous, and fascinating place than we think. Sometimes, the greatest technologies and the most incredible secrets of the universe are hidden right beneath our feet in microdimensions beyond our naked eye. The Bombardier Beetle proves to us once again that nature is not just a habitat, but a massive library of technology waiting to be unleashed. So, what do you think about this micro-warrior? Do you think a creature that can detonate its way out of a frog's stomach unscathed might be nature's craziest piece of engineering? Don't forget to share your thoughts with me in the comments below. If you want to continue exploring the extraordinary creatures of our planet and the mysterious world of science with me, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until the next deep documentary, drive unlock another secret of nature. Take great care of yourselves and goodbye.